Hey innovators, how you doing today? Today we're going to be creating our own fans. We're going to explore how simple circuitry works, and we'll be using small battery powered motors in order to create our own custom fans. Whew. Now let's check out the materials and let's get to work. Innovators, today we're going to be working with some materials that you can easily find at home and others that you may have to purchase. So we're going to start off with some cardboard, a paper towel roll, or a toilet paper roll, whatever you have. You're going to need a pair of scissors, some tape, and now we're going to need some special items that you can easily order from a hobby shop or you can purchase online from retailers like Amazon. The first one is going to be this AA battery pack. You're going to need 2 batteries. You're going to need a small voltage motor. And again, this can be purchased from a hobby shop, a craft store, or from an online retailer. Most of the time you can purchase them in sets. You're going to need a small fan. I purchased my fan and my motor together, so they fit very nicely. And if you don't have a plastic fan, you can also just craft one out of paper. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. The last thing you're going to need are some wires. Now, I purchased these really wonderful alligator clips. They have a piece of plastic that's covering the end of them, but it makes them really easy to attach and it doesn't require me to solder anything. And again, really simple and easy to work with. So I got 3 alligator clips, and the last thing is an on and off switch. Again, purchased from a hobby shop. In fact, I got it together with my motor, my battery pack, and my fan. So we have all the materials that we need to explore simple circuitry. Now let's get to work. Now, today's small fan project is going to explore the idea of simple circuitry. What does it mean to have an open and a closed circuit? Well, let's illustrate. We'll start off with our light bulb, which is what needs power. In our case, it'll be a little fan. Okay, now we're going to need our energy source. In our case, it's going to be a battery. There's a positive side and negative side. Now, simply put, what we're going to be doing today is creating a circuit, a really simple circuit with a wire that connects our energy source to the device that needs to be powered. We're going to have an on and off switch. And what's going to happen is when we flip our switch on, it's going to create the circuit, completing the circuit, sending energy to the light bulb or to our fan and turning it on. When we click this off, it's going to break the circuit, meaning energy will travel, but it will not complete the circuit. So let's start to experiment. All right, so innovators, the first thing that we want to do is we want to start connecting some things. So we'll start with our battery pack. And we have a positive and a negative side. The red side is our positive, the black cable is our negative. And we're going to take 2 of our wires with alligator clips, and we're going to place the exposed wire inside of the alligator clip. And what you'll want to do is you'll kind of want to twirl it a bit and then press the alligator clip down so that the rubber covers it up. Okay, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Make sure you're using 2 separate wires with alligator clips. And press it down. Okay, so this is what your setup should look like. A battery pack and an alligator clip on the positive wire and on the negative wire. Now to test it, what we're going to do is we're going to place our batteries in here. Okay. And we're going to place our motor right here. And all you're going to do is touch the positive end, okay, and the negative end to the 2 pins that are located on the motor. So if you notice, there are 2 little pins, little copper pins on each side of the motor. You're going to attach or just place the positive on one side and the negative on the other. Oh, there you go. And it's buzzing. Great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a new element. So what's happening here is you're completing the circuit. The energy is running through the whole circuit, and it's sending enough energy to power the motor. Now, how do you apply an on and off switch? What we're going to do here is take our positive side, and we're going to attach an alligator clip. This on and off switch also has 2 pins. You'll attach the positive to one of the 2 pins, and you'll cover it up, just like that. Now you're going to take your 3rd wire, and you're going to place it on the other pin on the on and off switch, like so, and you're going to cover it up. What you don't want to do is allow the 2 alligator clips to touch each other. That's why you want to push these rubber coverings all the way through. Now, you'll take the other end, the other clip, and you should now have a positive and a negative. Let's attach them to our motor again. But nothing happened. Well, remember, we attached an on and off switch, and I believe right now the switch is off. What happens if we turn it on? Our motor starts to run again. Now, what's happening now? Let's spread it out and illustrate it. We have our battery pack, our power source. Energy is running through, and the on and off switch is currently off. That means that the circuit is broken. So the energy stops here. But if we turn it on, it completes the circuit, sending energy to our little motor. Now, let's flip it off. And now, we're going to attach our fan to our motor. Now, if you don't have a little plastic fan, there we go. If you don't have a plastic propeller, what you can do is fabricate one out of cardboard or paper. Now, we'll flip this on, and our fan is working. Excellent. Now, let's try an experiment. What happens if I switch these 2 cables? If I attach this one to the other pin, and attach this one to this side. Our fan is spinning, but all of the air is coming on the other side, and that's because the blade is spinning in the opposite direction. Interesting. Okay, well, let's switch it out again. Flip it on. Perfect. Now we can construct the base of our electric fan. All right, let's take all of these components and we're going to set them off to the side. Innovators, earlier I showed you that if I swap these cables, the motor spins in the opposite direction. Some of you might be wondering how that works. Well, these little motors are powered by magnets and coils of wire. As the electricity runs through one pin through the motor, it activates those magnets, causing the motor to spin in one direction. Now, if I was to swap the polarity of the voltage, meaning if I swap the negative and the positive voltage going into the motor, it would activate the magnets and make the motor spin in the opposite direction. Now, for my fan project today, I'm going to create a small base made out of cardboard. I'm going to take a piece of cardboard, I'm going to cut a small square like that, and one that's about the same size. Perfect. And I'm going to trim this one down just a little, like so. Now, my idea is I'm going to take this base, this tube, and I'm going to create a base. So, this will be the top. I'll make sure that my fan rests on top of this piece of cardboard. I'm going to run all of my wires through the tube, and I'm going to place my battery pack right out here in case I ever need to swap those batteries. So let's prepare everything that we need. I'm going to create a small opening here on the top so that I can run those wires like that. And place it on the top of my toilet paper roll. And now you can use some glue or hot glue. In my case, I'm just going to use a few pieces of tape to hold everything down. Like that. Perfect. So now I have a little opening where I can run my wires, and now I'm going to put everything on the same side. I'm going to make a little opening here in my toilet paper roll, so again I can run those wires. And instead of cutting it, I'm just going to tuck it in like that. Perfect. And I'll sit it like this. Okay. Now before I tape the bottom, I'm going to start to put everything together. So I'm going to make sure that all of my wires are connected. Okay. I am going to tape down my battery pack. That'll be the first thing that I do. So, okay. Now I'm going to take my wires and I'm going to run them through my cardboard tube. There's one. And there is the second one. Perfect. Now, I'm going to pull everything through here because I want to hide all these messy wires. So I'm going to slowly tuck them into the cardboard like this. There we go. And I'm going to leave the on and off switch sticking out. So now that everything is in place, I'll take some more tape and I am going to tape everything down. Excellent. Okay. And I'll include one other piece of clip on this side. Okay. That looks good. There we go. Now, sticking out of the top, now I'm going to connect my motor to my wires like so. And you want to test them. You want to make sure that they're spinning in the right direction. Perfect. Okay. Now I'm going to place my little fan right on the edge here, like so. Okay, and I'm going to tape it down. Great. Now you want to make sure that your fan is not bumping into any part of your cardboard. I'm going to tuck these wires in. Like so. Okay. Well, I think our fan's ready to be tested. Let's give it a shot. Great. That looks awesome. Now let's take another look at it. All right, innovators, we finished our fan. It should look something like this. Now remember, when it comes to designing your projects, get as creative as you want. Just make sure that you test along the way to make sure that it still works. So I'm going to give my fan a try because it's getting hot in here. Ooh, nice. Hello. Excellent. I am quite happy with that. So now I'm just going to take this and elaborate a little bit more on my design to make it look a little bit better. So, innovators, thank you very much for following along and trying this project out. I encourage you that you experiment, that you improve upon the design that you came up with. And remember to always think creatively and to think critically. All right, until next time.